Good morning, Green Bay Packers fans. It's Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. And look, so many of you are already here chopping it up in the comments section. It's always good to see. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope wherever you are, you're going to have a good weekend. We are going to have a rainy weekend here in New York City. So indoor activities for me and the girls starting tonight with pizza night. Hope everybody's well. I'm dragging. I'm tired today. Ain't going to lie. But never miss a chance to chat Packers with you all here on Cheesehead TV. As Joey alluded to in the chat, Corey Lindsley will be joining me on Extra Cheese next Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern. That'll be live. Hope you all show up for that. It's going to be, I guess, a lot of fun, but it will be somewhat emotional, I would think, since Corey's seemingly on his way out the door, especially if you caught his, or at least the snippet of his interview with Sirius XM Radio yesterday, where he said that all signs point to him snapping the ball somewhere else next season. What a quote. Hit me right in the feels. Good morning, Brandy. You get enough Pappy funds, your date shirt can be whatever. I like my date shirt, thank you very much. It's black, simple, it's classic, never goes out of style. Enough for the date shirt. Where's my Chewbacca coffee mug? Right here, sir. Good morning. Corey just wants to play it down so he can announce his 20-year extension on Cheesehead TV. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's the part of the business that sucks, man. And it's, the real tough part about knowing it's a business is understanding the decision behind it. Because I'd love to just rail at the Packers and say, oh, my God, you guys are crazy and you're stupid for letting Corey Lindsley walk. He's the best center in the league. How can you do that? But I get it. I get why they're doing it. I hate it, but I get it. Josh Neiman is practicing, but with whom? That's existential this morning. Right? If the Bears manage to get either Wilson or Watson, are you confident they will find a way to mess it up? Yes, 100%. I know Russell Wilson listed the Bears via his agent in the report that Adam Schefter put out there yesterday as one of the 4 teams that he would waive his no-trade clause for. I tell you what, Russell Wilson on the Bears is a scary proposition. You don't want anything to do with that. I mean, we joke about the Bears messing it up, but Nagy, that QB and that defense, they could be cooking with gas, and that's not something we want to see. Definitely not. No Mandalorian, no football. Brandy, I hear you. Hey, I don't know if you have HBO Max, but check out The Nick, starring Clive Owen. I watched it back when it first came out a couple years ago. It is so good. It is such an excellent show. And you haven't been able to get it until recently. Now HBO Max picked it up. So highly recommended if you need a new show. It's so good. Black V-neck for all occasions, date night, bar night, casual around the house, whatever. Exactly, Nick. It's a classic. You can wear it. You can be photographed in it, and it could be 1955. It could be 1985. It could be 2005. It's classic. Never goes out of style. Chad, thanks for the super chat. Is Lindsley a repeat of TJ Lang? Great, but aging. That's a possibility, right? You think about the fact that he had that stretch for, I believe it was 2 seasons in a row where he didn't miss a single snap. And then injuries started to strike. And, we saw him miss a couple of games 2 years ago. And then this year he had to bow out a couple more times, then got injured that 3-week stretch late in the season. So, I do think, like I said, I understand the desire to move on, especially when you've got young guys who can slide in and play center. You've planned for this as a team, and it doesn't make it suck any less. Corey's a great guy. I think he's a really great addition to the team, not only on the field, but off the field. But yeah, Father Time is undefeated, and he knows there are plenty of teams out there that will give him a really nice contract for his kind of last bite at the apple, so to speak. But we'll talk to him about it next Tuesday. Move on from J.K. Scott. Joshua, I would tend to think that they're going to bring in competition for sure. I don't know if they outright cut him before they get to camp, but there is no way on God's green earth they should be going into training camp without a punter to push J.K. Scott. That would be my thoughts on the subject. We've got options at center. Patrick Jenkins Hansen. Yep. Absolutely, Andy. I mean, we haven't really seen what Hansen can do, but yes, there are options. I say tag Jones and still try to work a deal. Well, Brandy, they've tried to work a deal several times, many offers, all turned down. I don't know how Rosenhaus would go for that. I think if they were to tag him, it would be very interesting to watch Jones's reaction. They haven't used the tag since 2010. I had thought it was 2008, but it's 2010. They franchised Ryan Pickett. And before that, it was Corey Williams, and then they traded him. So maybe they tag and trade him. That's a possibility, I think. But yeah, a straight tag and then an extension. I don't know. Nathan, thanks for the super chat. Just moved to Green Bay. New job, euchre season. Nathan, welcome to Green Bay. I mean, welcome from New York to Green Bay, but always great to see someone moving to Title Town. Wait, what? Get question. It has to be said. Jovan, Can anybody tell me what the team has done so far? Anything with a transition or franchise tag? Oh, it wasn't. I was just talking about that. They've used the transition tag a few times throughout the years. Remember, they put it on Bubba Franks back in the day, but they've used it since then. But yeah, the franchise tag they haven't utilized since 2010. They don't like to use it, and they usually don't have to. Usually, they do such a good job of getting out ahead of these things that it's really not an issue. Nice. I've heard Miami was offering Jones 4 years, $25 million guaranteed. Didn't we offer that? Well, Miami hasn't offered anything yet. They're not allowed to. It would be a major issue if they actually offered a contract. Now, I'm sure they've expressed interest, but they haven't offered anything. They won't offer anything until the legal tampering window opens on the 14th of March. But yeah, the Packers offered a number of different kind of packages. The problem on Jones's end was none of them really included lots of guaranteed money, especially up front. That's the reporting from Rob on that. And I understand it, man. You're a running back, the most punishing position on the field. You got to get your money up front. You got to get those guarantees because, that position, the punishment you take, we saw some of the hits that Aaron took this year. There was that one, I think it was against the Rams game where he just got just a hellacious shot and he stayed up and got like 5 more yards. But any one of those could end your career like that. You've got to get that guaranteed money. And if the Packers aren't offering it, which reportedly they weren't, I get why he turned it down. That makes sense on the player's end. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Thomas Jacobs thinks the Packers suck. Please help. Well, Thomas Jacobs doesn't know what he's talking about. It's all right. We all know the Bears still suck. I mean, get the words right, buddy. Sandy's here. Hi, Sandy. Do you think Seattle could end up trading Russ? I'd hate. The thing moved. I'd hate to see him in Chicago. David, we talked about it before. Yeah, Russell Wilson in Chicago would be a problem. But I don't think, push comes to shove, I'll be very surprised if Russell Wilson actually gets traded. Because here's the other part that no one seems to kind of talk about in this off-season dead time, so we gin up these things and make them into something. And I'm not saying that there's nothing there because there's clearly is, but what are the Seahawks doing then at quarterback? What's their plan? John Schneider's just not going to turn around and go, yeah, sure, here, take our quarterback and we'll just suck for the next 10 plus years. They don't have the Legion of Boom to lean on anymore. Like, they need a quarterback. And yeah, maybe they draft one with one of the multiple first-round picks they would probably get for Wilson, but I just don't see it happening. You're kind of resigning yourself to taking a monster step back as an organization. Steve, I don't know what that means, but thanks. Paul, how much is lots of guaranteed money? Any guaranteed money. Apparently the Packers, from what Rob has written, barely offered any at all, if any. So obviously I'm not in the negotiating room, so I don't know. But apparently the Packers didn't offer much, if any. And as a running back, how do you take that deal? What's the difference between the franchise and transition tag? I'm confused. Well, with the transition tag, the franchise tag gives you the guaranteed for 1 year. The salary comes in at the average of the top 5 players at your position, contract wise. So you take those top 5 contracts, you average it out. That's your salary for the year. Boom, done. 1 season. The transition tag allows other teams basically to come along and pitch your guy and say, a lot of teams use a transition tag to try and like figure out what the market is on a player. The Packers have done that in the past. But then a team can come along and basically negotiate a deal. And if it's too rich for your blood, you say, okay, thanks, but no thanks. And there are different levels the transition tag can be on, and you get compensated in the form of a draft pick. Whereas, otherwise, maybe you like that deal that they worked out with the player, and then you sign him to that deal. That we've seen that happen in the league. So that they are definitely 2 very separate tools. Duke, this could potentially be a very different team next year. What do the Packers need to do to stay in serious contention for a Super Bowl run? Stay healthy. And they have holes to fill. There's no doubt about it, but so does everybody in the league. It's hard to say right now, sitting here prior to free agency, what they really need to do because we don't know who's going to end up, having their contract kind of massaged or restructured, who's going to be extended, who's going to be cut. Probably still some cuts coming. And yeah, there's undoubtedly, work to be done in certain positions, but for the most part, you still have Aaron Rodgers. You still have one of the best offensive lines in the game. You still got that offense. Everyone's coming back for the most part outside of the running back position. And you have a guy who you saw a glimpse last year. He's probably up to the challenge and ready to step in and produce. Obviously the center is leaving, but you've got guys that you've proven you can be productive with. So on the offensive side of the ball, I think it's continuing to develop in Matt's system. It's going to be exciting to watch. On defense is the big question mark because we don't know what that scheme is going to look like. They definitely need help up front. They have a big hole at corner opposite Jair. So those are where the question marks are. But sitting here today, they're still a Super Bowl contender. They're obviously the team to beat in the division. There's no question about that. So, there's obviously a lot to play out this offseason. But the Packers, as long as Aaron Rodgers is in town, they're a Super Bowl contender. No doubt about it. Russ isn't going anywhere. I agree. There you go. Now we're talking. Nathan, Tim Boyle to Seattle for picks. Get that Gutekunst Schneider hotline going. I like it. Gonna get a Go Pack Go to Scotland. What's up, Scotland? Hello from New York City. Go Pack Go. That's what I'm talking about. Across the pond. Vidal has 2 questions. Do the Packers get a second-round tender on Tanyan, or if we lose him, do we chase Zach Ertz in free agency because they were interested in Zach last year before the deadline? That's very well remembered. I would doubt they'd be able to sign him in free agency because I think he'll get paid if he does hit the market and way above what the Packers can afford. But I do think they'll put the second-round tender on Tunyon. And, I think the tight end position is going to be really exciting to watch next year. Adding Ertz, I don't think that's in the cards. With Bakhtiari injured, tackle concerns me. Yeah, that's understandable. Absolutely, 1,000%. There's not a given that he'll be starting. That is definitely a hole that they gotta kind of maybe not overpay to fill, but when you're talking probably moving Jenkins over and then Turner at right tackle, you're one injury away from back to living in the world of the Jason Spriggs of your life, and you don't want that at all. Would I be shocked if they re-signed King? I don't know about shocked, but I'd be pretty surprised. Yes. Who do I see at center this coming year? Probably Lucas Patrick, but I think they'll battle it in camp. Him, Hansen, Jenkins, I think they'll all get a rotation during training camp, and they'll decide between those 3, most likely. Big Cheese, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Nags, I don't know if you've covered this or not, but I saw there was a team overnight, JJ, 15 to 16 million a year. Obviously, we couldn't pay that. What's the max we can realistically offer him that won't break the bank? 5? I don't know. I think the Packers could probably get up to 10 if they get really creative. But I don't see JJ signing for that. That would be an insane hometown discount. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'd be very, very surprised. Is Jarrell Casey a player Gutekunst will consider? I hope so. I know he's dealt with injuries. I know he's an older guy at this point, but man, put him on the line with Kenny Clark and let him go to work. I am all about that. I would love it. I don't know if Gutekunst will make that call, but man, it doesn't seem to be the type of guy he's looked at in the past. But this will be a very different year. Cap being what it is, things being very different cap wise for the team. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. But I don't know. We'll see. Walter, thanks for the super chat. Who's the true vocal leader on defense, in your opinion? I think that's what they are lacking. Yeah, I mean, guys kind of feel differently about that, really, from guy to guy, about how necessary that kind of thing is. Some guys really do kind of lean into it and say, it's something they can like to rally around, what have you. Then there are other guys who are a lot like Aaron Rodgers, who talk about how, like, man, all of that is fake. We don't need someone standing up going rah rah. We just need to do our job. Blah 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 blah. Right now, obviously we're not privy to things that go on inside the building, but I would say he's probably Z. I mean, he's the one who went to Mike Pettin at middle of the year and said, "Hey, we need to simplify things." He does speak for the defense a lot as a leader. Maybe he's not kind of that classic get in the huddle and pump guys up type of leader, but he seems to be the one who commands the most respect. The guy who speaks with authority for that side of the ball. That's just my way of looking at it. Stanley, thanks for the super chat. Lane Taylor coming back with cheap pay. I mean, cheap pay is all relative, right? You got to think it's an option. Obviously, another year coming off an injury, you hope he doesn't have to work himself back into shape. Can hit the ground running and where he left off, because he was having a really good camp. He had an excellent camp last year, and then played a handful of snaps there in Minnesota. But it looked like he was primed to have a really good year. You never really know how a guy comes back from an injury, especially now it's another year where he hasn't played. There's no guarantee he's going to come back in the same kind of shape he was. But man, yeah, on what you would suspect would be a somewhat affordable 1-year deal, it makes all the sense of the world. Now, you are then basically holding a roster spot for a guy who better win the starting job, or else, you're going to have to cut him because he's not going to be on special teams. And you're just holding a roster spot for a guy who maybe he's your swing tackle. Maybe they push that because he did play tackle in a pinch under McCarthy. But I would suspect he's got to win the job. And I'm not saying he can't, because that would be great. Put him in at right guard when you slide Lucas Patrick over to center, and away you go. I'm down for it. Imagine making $10 million and saying you did them a favor. They are living in a different world than we are. Yes, Alex. Yes, they are. I say this all the time when people talk about, well, at my job, I do X, Y, Z. It's like, no one cares about your job, dude. And I'm not talking about you, Alex. I'm just saying people in general. No one's tuning in to watch you do the filing. No one's tuning in to watch you teach little Jimmy algebra. There's a reason these guys are paid what they are. This is what the market will bear, because that media stuff, the media deals are so lucrative because of the guys on the field. That's why they're paid. Got one or two more in me, people. Please tell me the special teams will be better this year. Taylor, special teams will be better this year. And I'm not saying that because they can only go up, because we know after watching Ron Zook that they can still get worse. So yes, they will get better next year. Have faith. Stanley, Adam Humphries will be a good pickup. Yeah, I know Packer fans really jazzed on him when he was a free agent last time around. I don't know, man. I don't know. This really does. I don't know. It's not the type of receiver, the type of guy that the Packers have traditionally liked. Maybe they make that call, but I'd be surprised. Aaron, do we sign a 1-year deal with Snacks Harrison? Shouldn't we see what he has? Gary, I'm with you. I would love it. I don't know if Snacks wants to play, though. I mean, it took him a long time to come around to wanting to play last year. So we'll see. Thank you, Taylor. No problem, man. Aaron, do we sign a 1-year deal with Snacks Harrison? Oh, I did that one already. Packer fans itching for a crappy white slot guy. I mean, I'd protest, but you're probably right. Can we bring back Jared Abadaris? Come on now. We never really got to see what he could do. I'm kidding. All right, everybody. I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day here. Cheesehead TV. It's what we do. We're devoted to you guys. We love you guys. The fact that you make Cheesehead TV part of your Packers routine really means a lot to me. Please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. I hope you all have a great weekend. Talk to you guys soon. Go Pack Go.